Hi, I'm Nick Buckley and I'm running for Mayor of Greater Manchester next year. If you're on social media or you've been following the mainstream press, you would have come across a story of Zayna, a lady from Greater Manchester who claims she was raped by police officers at a Salford police station. Could this be true? When I first heard this a month ago, I initially and straight away went, no, not true, she's mental. Mental health issues, making something up. She may believe it herself, but no. And then a couple of weeks ago, she reached out to me and said, Nick, would you like to meet? Do you want to see the evidence? Of course I want to see the evidence. We should all want to see the evidence, no matter what we're talking about. Evidence rules, not feelings, evidence. So we met in the city centre. First of all, she's not mental. She's a very intelligent, articulate young woman. She explained to me what happened and then showed me the evidence. So let me tell you, it was during lockdown. Everybody went a bit crazy during lockdown. It was a very uncomfortable part of our life. Couldn't see family, couldn't see friends. She was living by herself in a house in Salford, struggling like many people were. And one evening, one of her friends was worried about her, extremely worried that much, he phoned the police and said, I'm worried about my friends. And that's what you should do if you're concerned about your friend for something as serious as this. Her friend now feels really guilty about doing that because it led to an horrendous experience for Zayna. So the police turned up to check on her safety. She'd been taking drugs, she wasn't fully with it, and she pushed the glasses of a police officer's face and pushed them off. Half messing around, half not knowing what she was doing. Technically assault. We should not be assaulting police officers. And she was arrested for assault. I have no issue with that. It wasn't the worst crime in the world, but we can't go around assaulting police officers. So she was arrested and taken to Pendleton police station in Salford. That's a 7-10 minute drive. It took an hour and a half to get there. There's no video in the back of the van of that time in the van. That's a worry straight away. And then she spent 40 hours in custody. Have I got an issue with any of that at the moment? Not really. Police did their job, turned up, trying to make sure she was safe. She assaulted one of them. Let's say not minor assault, but still an assault. She got arrested. I'm happy with all this up to now. The problem occurs after this. She's not in a fit state in the police station because she's been taking drugs. She's unconscious. They strip her naked and take her clothes off her and then put some shorts on her. And she has videotape of all this going on in the police cell. Eventually she's taken to hospital. She has the hospital report now, who say she was bleeding from her vagina and from her anus. That's not a good place to be straight away. That's a medical report now stating there's been sexual activity with her vagina and with her anus. I'd like to know how that happened. Was that before she was arrested? After she was arrested? Serious allegation there. She then was released and flashbacks, she says, started happening and she thinks she's been raped. Understandably. Doesn't mean it's true, but understandably she thinks she's been raped. So then she spends the next 2 years, not 2 weeks, over 2 years. She then starts asking for evidence, starts putting in requests for video footage, for reports from the hospital, for reports from mental health. She is thorough. She should be a police detective herself. Starts getting the evidence. Has hours and hours of footage from the cells she has to piece together because they send it to her hour by hour, only when she asks for it. Pieces it all together, but there's gaps. 2 hours are missing of when she's in the cells. What happened in those 2 hours? We don't know. The shorts they gave her to put on have now gone missing. There could be DNA on those shorts. Why is that gone missing? No footage in the back of the van. Where's that footage? Let me be perfectly clear. All these video cameras in police stations and police vehicles and body cam footage, that's there for one reason and one reason only, to protect police officers. That's why we invested money in this, for false allegations and so police officers could do their job without being accused of things. But when it goes missing, we need to ask ourselves why. Is it incompetence? And believe me, all public services are completely full of incompetence, including the police. Or is it corruption? Is it a cover-up? We don't know. And we don't know because we can't get the footage. Zayna then reached out for 2 years, asking for help. She wrote to the mayor. I've read the letter. I've read the reply. The reply wasn't very helpful. Police are looking into this. Nothing we can do. She then wrote to the victim's commissioner. Replied back again. The police are looking into it. There's nothing we can do. So the people she accuses of raping her are trusted to look into the accusation of one of them raping her. How's that justice? How's that decent policing? She was getting nowhere, but slowly building all this evidence. And eventually, Sky News got involved. And they looked at the evidence and they did a report on this. Now we can criticise the mainstream media, but if it wasn't for Sky News, this still would be a Twitter storm. But because Sky are now involved and other outlets have picked it up, the mayor, Andy Burnham, the mayor of Greater Manchester, has now jumped into action. He said, I wasn't aware of this case. This is horrendous. I've seen the letter his office wrote to her. Somebody in his office was aware of it. All it takes for you to get justice in this country is the mainstream media. Get a story out there. I don't call that justice. Police now have released a statement a couple of days ago saying the video we didn't send to her was corrupted. That's why we couldn't send it. Those hours, those crucial hours, have been corrupted. And it's been so long, we've now overwrote the master disc. So now there is no evidence. Let me say that again. The evidence that could prove Zayna was a liar and could clear the police has been corrupted, and the master disc has been wrote over. Does that sound right to you? Does that smell to you? Smells to me. What we need is a full investigation, which I'm sure will happen now that Sky are involved, now that Andy Burnham, the mayor, is suddenly involved. But what we need to understand about the mayor of Greater Manchester is he's also the police crime commissioner. He's in charge of the police. He has full responsibility over the police. This isn't good enough. I'm a big supporter of the police. I've been based in police stations. I've trained police officers. If we're going to have a functioning society, we need the police. Otherwise, it'd be like Mad Max. But we can't have any old police force. We need a decent, professional, quality police force. And we don't have one at the moment. At the moment, we have Greater Manchester Police, which is better than nothing. But it's not good enough. We need a mayor who understands policing. We need a mayor who wants to be the police crime commissioner. Because Andy Burnham doesn't. He's given that job to his deputy. Yes, he gave the job away. I don't want to do that. It's too much hard work. I want to mess around with buses and trains and be a DJ. Anything going on in football clubs, I've got a comment for that. But when it comes to policing, not interested, give it to my deputy. Get yourself a mayor who wants to be the police crime commissioner. I've spent 2 decades training for this job. I didn't know I was training to do it, but I have been training to do it for 2 decades. When May comes around next year, vote for change in Greater Manchester. Vote for police crime commissioner. Don't vote for a populist mayor. Vote for a police crime commissioner to make sure the streets are safe, to make sure you're safe, to make sure when you get in trouble with the police or you reach out to the police for help, to make sure you're not the victim of those police officers. This can't go on like this. I'm going to be interviewing Zayna in a couple of weeks and we'll get her full story and then we'll know from her words what went on. Speak to you next time.